All right, and we're live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I just got out of a consultation call. Thought I would do a quick one of these before I get some client stuff that I do have to do. A little bit of client work here later. Have a couple things I need to write up for clients, and they're pretty well done with mandatory work. Had some plans for this time slot that kind of got bumped down a little bit. So I'm free to get a live in real quick before we do breakfast, but had a pretty good GPP session. Yeah, stuff's going good. You got a notification. Good stuff, Connor. Appreciate you letting me know. So good. That means notifications are going out. And maybe we'll get a good little live going. So yeah, we're in a good place with that. And I think with a lot of that, Connor, is because I'm not doing a lot of other content outside of my little shorts, my vlogs. We're pretty much just doing lives, and that seems to be helping. Seems to be helping here a lot. It would be nice if, of course, Facebook would return to letting me do lives again. But I'll live with whatever's going on. What? Hold on. No, I still can't do them, unfortunately. Oh well. But we can be in here with you guys and gals, so we're not necessarily double dipping, but we're at least getting these in, and they've been productive, man. We've been getting supers, we've been getting followers. But yeah, I'm almost debating though, taking that advice serious. I put that up in the commentary there too. Why don't I train my arms like I train my legs? Because I mean, really, we look at that screenshot there from the training. My legs they mog my arms so bad, and it's funny because I train my arms more than my legs. But I do have to wonder that question. Do I just overtrain? Is it because I overtrain my arms to compensate for them always growing slower? Right? I probably do. Whereas in my legs, I don't do any of that. We do just enough for me to recover from. I train really hard or heavy progressive overload. Is using 3AD considered fake natty? I don't know. I don't even know what that is. Right? I don't even know what that is. Do we care? Like a fake natty only matters if you're marketing. Okay. There's no reason to care if you're natural or not. The only topic of this is, are you scamming people? Like, are you a public person out there? Right. I don't even know what 3AD is. So in other words, do you even care if you're fake natty or not? Do you care? Does it matter? It has no relevance. Unless you are influencing people or selling products, it's irrelevant. You don't have to define it. But I mean, technically, if supplements work, you'd be a fake natty, right? And that's something I put out to people. The only reason using supplements doesn't make you a fake natty is because they don't actually build muscle. They don't work. If they actually worked, we could classify every influencer who claims natural and takes supplements as a fake natty also. Why? Because they would be gaining muscle through an external source besides their training. But supplements don't actually work for any of that. They're completely useless for gaining muscle. 3AD is an adrenal metabolite that somehow raises testosterone without any estrogen side effects. Biologically impossible. So in other words, that's a scam. You already know that's a scam. That biological description, straight up scam. There's no way to raise your testosterone unless you have a way to secondary suppress the estrogen. It cannot be done. This is a violation of human biology. So without knowing anything else, it's a scam. Not possible. All right. Sounds like how they describe SARMs. Jason, were you a good sprinter in the day? You have the build? I don't know. Hold on. There. My growth shows my progress. Ice cream fitness made me realize how big of a what? Get out of here with that stuff. Kapow! Rex, you're out of here. But yeah, so that's all I need to know about whatever this substance is. They claim it's an adrenal metabolite that raises testosterone without any estrogen. Yeah, doesn't work that way. Unless you can currently suppress the aromatase enzyme, any raise in testosterone will cause a raise in estrogen. Injecting testosterone will cause it. If your body produces more testosterone, it causes it. The aromatase enzyme will act upon testosterone, any type of testosterone. So this is a scam. That's all we need to know about it. And why are you guys so obsessed with raising your testosterone? Just if you're obsessed with raising your testosterone, just take testosterone. There's so many scams. I mean, well, most of it is. I said that in a thing the other day. I made a thing about supplement scams on my Facebook on one of the pictures I put up. So, well, supplements don't work. And the guy said, I can name several supplements that work. Anyway, now this is some of them were scams that he listed. He just said like 6 things. And I wrote back to him, if you can only find 20 supplements that work, then that means 99.9% of supplements are a scam. Right? Let's be clear. If you can only come up with a list of 20 supplements that you believe actually work, that's the longest list you can make, then 99.9% of supplements are a scam. For you to say most supplements aren't a scam, you need to come up with a list of 500 to 1,000 that work. And I mean that you have evidence that they work. If your list is smaller than that, then the majority of supplements are a scam. Let that one sink in for a moment. Fine says, hey, Jason, the chat, hope everyone is well. We're doing good. Yeah, my plans got a little reshuffled today. But I just got out of a consultation. I had a really good consultation with a dude. We're on fire with those this week, man. Pretty happy with a lot of stuff overall. Right? Pretty happy with it. Had a client I was thinking wasn't going to return. We did a call last night. He's back in. He paid last night. So I've had 2 return clients already this week. Sold 2 consultations already this week. Just had one of them this morning after my GPP. So stuff's all in a good flow. We're good. All right, we're good. But I got more coaching slots open, consultations open. Come on over, guys. Let's see. And you just happened to make that account today to tell me that. Kapow! Get out of here. Let's see. Next. Kapow. You tell them, Marcinio. We do the Kapow Booyakasha. I know, man. I was fast. We had to be fast on that one. These people think they're slick. Imagine not having that little of a life. Think about what a loser this dude is who makes these accounts to do this. Can you even imagine being that much of a loser? Wow. ChatGPT on 3AD, the evidence base is extremely limited. The patent describes a pre-trial human 2 male volunteers testing, but this does not constitute rigorous. Wow. Oh, man. You don't have to imagine. Yeah. Didn't waste time. Coach has the fastest draw on the list. There we go. All it takes is a cock and a pop. Right? As John Rule said, all it takes is a cock and a pop and money for bail. I don't understand why people do that. They're trolling. Yeah, man. Because it's a wrap. That's what she said. That's right. That is what she said. Coach pullout game is fast. Pew. All right. Well, it's clear why they do it. They're mentally ill and have no life. I mean, it's very obvious why they do it. You know. All right. How's everybody's training going though? The GPP was good today. But yeah, man, that quad pump today on the sled works like really. I really am taken seriously when someone says that though. Why don't you train your arms the same way you train your legs? And I know their implication is the opposites. People will see certain pictures and they're thinking, I train my legs harder than I train my arms. No, I probably overtrain my biceps. I probably train them way too much. What if I only trained my arms as much as I trained my legs? What if I cut it way back to that and just focus on lifting really heavy? Like, what if I just kind of said, yeah, if I train my biceps the same way I train my quads, let's just get really, really, really strong at weighted chin ups and maybe do a couple sets of curls every now and then, but very carefully limit the volume of them. You know, me, I'll be like training them twice as much, right? But it's like I train my biceps way more than I train my legs. Way more. So, you know, but you know, going with that is that the problem? Because are our genetics really different in our different muscle groups? Do we really, is that really happen? That we all of a sudden, oh yeah, we have a totally different muscle makeup in our one muscle versus the rest of our body. You know, you really think it works that way? I'm not talking about insertions. I'm talking about things like muscle fiber distribution, hormonal response, the way our peripheral nervous system works. I don't know. I'm just saying. I do a hell of a lot of bodybuilding for my arms, and I don't for my legs. Maybe the problem is bodybuilding training is the problem. Because I don't use enough drugs to justify bodybuilding training. Like, Coach, you don't use 2 grams of test. You're on a replacement dose. It doesn't work. Just saying. Something to think about. You ever rock the green beard again? No. Considering I don't have a girlfriend with professional products and dyes living with me who can extract all the color and then basically do a $200 dye job, probably not. So the green beard wasn't just some green dye. This was literally all the color lifted out of my beard through a whole process and then pro quality dyes being used, like balayage products and stuff. Because she had it on hand. My girl was a professional hairdresser at the time. It was her idea. She's like, let's just do it green. This will be fun. You know, a rainbow for the inclusion. The stuff that we will put up with, man. And girls be like, oh, don't argue about it. I'll fuck you for an hour afterwards. I'll make it. I'll make it all good. Okay. You know, it's like as men, this is how we get conned into things. That's based on the video title. Is Alex Leonidas a fake natty? Obviously. Nobody in their right mind thinks Alex is a natty. We all knew when he started blasting orals back in the day, like 10 years ago, when he did his first cycle, every single experienced lifter goes, Alex just went on a cycle. It was, everybody knew it. If you didn't know it, if you didn't recognize when Alex started blasting, then you have no business discussing fitness at all. You have no knowledge of lifting. Your opinion is irrelevant if you didn't realize when he started blasting like 8 or 9 years ago. You didn't see it real time and go, aha, yep, She's eating D-ball like candy. If you didn't recognize when it happened, you have no right to even call yourself an experienced lifter at that point. Because everybody knew. So, but I don't care because I don't follow YouTube. I don't care. I don't follow YouTube fitness. The only dude who might be natty would be Omar Issoff. Yeah, that's probably it. All right. Defiant says, read the arms talk about. I remember something you used to say that resonated with me a lot. Some people aren't successful because of what they do, but in spite of what they do. And I think that's the point too, Defiant. Some people are successful in spite of what they do. Right. Only Michael Hearn is natty and Rich Piana. That's right. Michael Hearn is the only natty on here, but he's super natty. Like he's next tier natural. He's at a level of natural that other people can't obtain. Right. Michael Hearn is supernatural. Right. Also, is that why he was promoting the yoke training? Apparently, it didn't work for anybody. Well, yeah, you got to be on gear for that. Yeah, the whole yoke training phase was his D-ball phase, and he was like, "Let's just go hard in the wet orals and just get yoked and go hit the buffet," you know. Had that D-ball phase happening. And again, if people didn't recognize that, I don't know what to say, man. You're clearly a new lifter. You're very, very new to the game, you know. Jennifer says, Jason, I'm a big fan from a couple years ago. Chime in again. Well, hello. Make sure this isn't some strange. We're having a weird troll come through. So, oh gosh. How about we just booyakasha you on out of here? A little bit of shake and bake. Pow, get out of here. Next. Here we go. I'll link my little meme from this morning. Man, this has been interesting. Very positive response to this meme, but some people are really bothered by the fact that there's a Bible in it. It's like, seriously, guys, y'all really going to act that way? Like purpose in life has not been helpful to men. Chris Jones, drugs, we're going to leave that alone. For living in the UK, why would you think that? You're clearly very, very new to my channel. I mean, I've stated many times that the quality of living in the US in general is higher than the UK. No, and definitely not prefer to live there over Texas. I mean, no Second Amendment, extremely high taxes, high cost of living. Come on. Clearly not. I have no personal interest in returning to the UK to visit. You know? I mean, it can be a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't recommend you live there by comparison. Now, granted, the history, the culture, the historical landmarks, all great for visiting. Right? Have you been following YouTube fitness lately? Nope, not at all. For years, I've ignored it for years, dude. The mold here in houses is bad. Yeah, no doubt, dude. The mold problem in houses in the UK is cray cray. It's on a whole nother level. It's on a whole nother level. Oh man. Yeah, guys, go check out that meme I linked. Feel free to chime in on that one. Hopefully get some traction. Just the conversations people bothered by. What's good other than the Bible? Take the Bible out. It's like, I know it's there for a reason. There for a reason in that meme. It's gotten a little slow in here. We were coming along. Got a little slow. I might wind it down and eat my breakfast. Can do a longer one of these later. That meme is the truth, though. Take action, you'll already feel. And I think that's the point people missed. Even if you're not, a Christian or a believer, the point is purpose. And for a lot of people, religion itself gives you purpose. So for men, lack of purpose is a real problem, right? Time sinks and no purpose. It's a big deal. YouTube fitness nowadays isn't like how it used to be. Well, how do you know? Because you can see pictures everywhere. You see stuff in your feed. You don't have to watch it to see. And it's pretty much all fitness social media. I mean, I've only got the YouTube written here because I'm talking on my YouTube stream at the moment, Sandy. You can see stuff in your feed. You can see the thumbnails and pictures. Do you follow any of the latest politics? Absolute mess. The latest politics where? You might want to be specific. I've been discussing U.S. politics a ridiculous amount lately. I remember Greg put days, those were the best. All right. Lucy Coach is on birth control, but I should still not risk it, right? I'd be careful there, man. Right? Make sure your pull-out game is on point. How do you advise to manage training? Well, we're over at coaching. So, Sandy, helping people with their time management and fatigue management is part of what I do as a coach. So if you would like to apply for coaching, I'll be happy to coach you and help you with all of this. So don't be a fool, wrap your tool. There you go. Tell him, Connor. Fusion says USR. Yeah, I've been discussing a lot of stuff with the politics. So if you check the titles, I've discussed a lot of these things. It's the start of the afternoon live streams, and then we hop over to other things. There's a lot of mess, but there's interesting developments. Because my advice would be very specific to your situation. There is no general advice. The advice would be, without knowing your situation, work on your time management. But because I don't know the specifics, because we're over to give you advice, I've got to know what's going on. And we're over to coaching. Unless you want to tell everybody in the whole chat your whole life story and the specifics of your job, what you do for a living, how far you live from the gym, or unless you're willing to break this down, and I don't want to read that much, we need to be in a video call, to be honest, then no one can give you advice on that, right? Very specific. I double wear. What? You double wear? What do you mean? You double wear? You putting two of them on? On a tree cutting company, service big trees, very long hours. You consider doing a home gym then? If the struggle is time management, a home gym may be helpful in your garage. Limitless. I hope you're kidding. If you put two on those, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're doubling up on your two. They're designed to work correctly with only one. Please be joking. Sandy, those consultation questions. Tell them limitless. Limitless. Oh, man. Yeah, the double protection. They're literally designed. If you needed double, they would just make it twice as thick if they felt it needed to be thicker. I thought all women around Limitless were Muslim and he was an involved. No, apparently he's got Lucy Coach. She's his friends with benefit, who calls him the little spoon and spoons him from behind, apparently, and doesn't want to be his girlfriend. So she is she's getting the milk for free without paying for the whole cow. You know. Decoy Octopus says, I've just come across these lives and I'm really enjoying them. I used to fight amateur, moving on to professional, ended up heavily injured. Sorry to hear that. I'm back at it tomorrow. Hopefully muscle memory is real. Muscle memory is definitely real. Long hours, also a bit physically and mentally demanding. I have a home gym. So maybe keep your workout shorter. If you're struggling with the physical and mental demands and then the time management, minimize your volume. Look at your training and take the junk volume out and ask yourself, how much training do you really need to do to get the results you want? And just be careful of junk volume. That's probably going to be a big problem for you in that situation. No, I'm serious. If you wear a double, you have no. That's not how it works. Limitless. Oh my God, Connor Scholar, Hallelujah. XXLs. Oh gosh. But yes, dude, it's definitely muscle memory is absolutely a confirmed thing. Like researchers have found it. It's definitely real. You know. Looks like that's a drawn dog. You got a Roddy in there. It looks painted, actually. It's a drawing. Roddies are good dogs, though. I own a business now. It's called a coaching business. So, all right. Connor Ellis, ChatGPT friction. When two condoms rub against each other during sex, the friction between the layers creates extra heat and resistance and can make them tear more easily. Thoughts on McGill pull-ups, and why don't you do a video on them? I don't know what McGill pull-ups are. How are they different from the various other types of pull-ups? Because I don't know what they are. I wouldn't, and I'm not doing those sort of videos at the moment, but I don't know. Right. So I know that Coach is a businessman. Anyone in the chat? We're all in the chat, Tychus. How do you not see the chat? Maybe you have your settings. Fix your settings. They're the whole thing yet going through. Explain McGill pull-ups. I don't need to go look up all these new exercises people come up with. We got to quit creating new exercises right and left. It's not necessary, guys. Like, have you tried Spanish pull-ups? Have you tried McGill pull-ups? Have you tried Taekwondo pull-ups? Have you tried flippy-floppy-flu pull-ups? Could you do a video on flippy-floppy-flu pull-ups and bleep-blop-fluven-floven pull-ups? And fleet-flop, bloop-blop squats, as opposed to bleep-blop, flute-flop squats. You guys got to quit making up new exercises all the time. It's not necessary. This is how I feel sometimes reading people's discussion of exercises. We've invented the new do trio triple flute flop press down. It's totally different from the other press downs. I want my own home gym and start going to the gym. What cost am I looking at minimum to get a bench, barbell, squat rack, plates? Is there any brands? Too much to answer. You didn't even say what country you're in. Like, that's a kind of a big, like, if you're talking brands, you're talking prices, that's completely dependent on local sources and economies. That's not a general, yeah. I don't know anything about the current pricing of brands in the UK, unfortunately. This coach says that cool, ridiculing great movements is frowned upon here. I run an online coaching business. I've been running it a long time. YouTube is not my primary income. So it is an income stream, but it's definitely not primary. Yeah. Coach, did you see what I wrote? Maybe do I need to scroll up? You wrote, your last comment was that you'd have less risk from doubling up. That's not true, Limitless. I'm not sure if you wrote something else after that, and the spam filter has caught it. Fitness Superstore in the UK has a good selection of power cages, etc., to suit various budgets. Okay, cool, David. David's trying to help you here. All right, David's trying to help brother out. Oh man. I got a leak on Rogue if living in the UK, right? Those are great brands. Yeah. They're on the more expensive end, but they're fantastic. I mean, most of my stuff is Rogue. Jason, do you ever eat out? If so, do you have any go-to? I don't discuss that aspect of my personal life. Jason, I just bought overpriced almonds that was no price tag and it cost so much. I don't know how to help you there, Limitless. So if there was no price tag, why didn't you just say no when you got to the checkout? You know, sounds like a fixable problem. I guess it's a very fixable problem, man. Sounds like no common sense too. You can do that. Yeah, you get up to the register and they didn't have a price tag and they're overpriced. I'm not paying that. Put them back. You may be embarrassing. So throw away your money then. They should be embarrassed that they didn't have the price tag on there. They think I'm going to pay that for almonds. That's what they should be embarrassed of. Sort of scam you think you're trying to pull on me, right? You're like, oh no, you got me twisted. You got me twisted, home skillet. Yeah, you live in Indonesia, just haggle, man. You can haggle. That's right. You can be like, I'm not paying that. No, it's a one-man enterprise, Cindy. Why do new accounts are so wanting to know all the fine details of my business? If you made this account today and you're asking the fine details of my business, no, let me see. No, you didn't make it today. It's a few days old. Just saying. So how come you're called Sandy Collins, but your other name is Robert Baker? What's up? Haggling is a rite of passage. Can I vote a kapow? Well, David, you are a channel member. So what's the purpose of why do you believe that they need a kapow? I just paid $7 for 300 grams of almonds. So simply state the who and the purpose why as a current channel member. You do have that right. You do have initiate vote powers. Yeah, that's definitely overpriced for some almonds, though. I wouldn't pay that for almonds. Newest channel asking overly personal questions. He votes a kapow. So David has called for a kapow of Sandy Collins. based upon that criteria. All right, so David, since he started it, he has a second, so that's then 2 kapows. We have 2 kapows, and he stays. Let's get this voting wound up, guys. Come on. We got to have a fair trial here. Connor's giving a kapow. Man, this is channel members giving kapows. I was just saying, you don't. Oh, the same person. We already banned you yesterday. All right, here we go. We got to wind it up. We got to wind it up. A little bit of shake. And bake. Kapow, you're out of here. All right. Yeah. There they go. They're gone. Get out of here, Sandy. Get out of here, Sandy Collins. If that is even your real name. How come their other thing said Robert Baker? They were Sandy Collins. They didn't hide the whole thing with their email. Their real name might be Robert Baker. My own fans who are also crazy stalkers might want to look into that. All right, next. There's going to be fun to pay when one day I start releasing the real names and addresses of some of these people who thought they've hidden themselves. I just put them out there for my crazy fans. I don't think these people have thought this stuff through very carefully. Y'all do know I got crazy fans too, not just crazy haters. Imagine using a fake name on your account. Like, seriously, what are these guys going to do when I put their addresses out one day? And their places of employment? I'm just saying. Do neutral grip pull-ups still build the biceps compared to chin-ups? Yes. Yes. Like, I don't think some of the hater channels know I literally know their physical address. And even in other countries, like in the UK, and what company they work for and which homeowners association they're on the board of. Coach, if I land a job interview for a U.S. company, I'm becoming an orc warrior. There we go, man. I expect that. At that point, you need to just have me as a full-time consultation. All right. But do neutral grip pull-ups still build the biceps compared to chin-ups? Yes, obviously, very much so. I mean, we can argue biomechanically they're inferior to chin-ups, but Frederico, he's a regular. Yeah, awesome. Connor just did a gift. But in terms of EMG activation in studies, they're just as good. Coach, if I were to go rogue, you could simply search me up. True. Do straight up using his real name. There you go, man. But Frederico has been awarded one. Awesome. Connor been dropping those everywhere. What type did you give him? Did you give him the regular orc warrior? All right. Welcome to the club, Frederico. I don't think he's in the chat right now, but he'll get an email. Apparently they send them an email when they get the membership. It's been a good week for Coach, though. Coach, I know your extensive knowledge in firearms. Please don't search me out. Bro, I'm not going to hurt you by looking at your like, dude, you do realize murder is illegal where I live, right? Like, Texas is pretty strict on that, actually, limitless. Like, we don't play around with that. We actually execute murderers in Texas, like if they're heinous enough. So you're good, dude. Like, you don't just go killing people here. Right. That's not how it works. I have a clean record of legit. Worst thing I did was a fight in middle school, a bullying. What? How's that even a bad thing? Yeah, dude, we're pretty harsh on violent crime here. Actually, we're pretty strict. Like in terms of criminal penalties, Texas is way up there on a lot of crimes. You know, we hand out life and death sentences like candy. So, just saying, crime is rampant where I live. Yeah. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna wind this down. It is breakfast time. Coach gonna get some food. I'll do another live later, but I do have some client stuff I have to get done. So let me roll on out of here. I love you guys, and I'll catch you later. Let me give you a bicep shot before we go. Oh, Mount Bicephalus. And we're out.